everyone. We are so excited to be back once again to get together and talk about real woman issues that concern friends, wives, mothers, educators, and entrepreneurs. I cannot wait to start the show, so let's get going. And we're back.
Happy New Year. I feel like it's been so long.
It's been forever.
Why does it feel
We say
so
that every
long?
time. We actually do say that, like, at the beginning of almost every podcast.
I know, but like a week away from you is just too long, sunshine.
The friend fix part
yeah.
is like, okay, so
It's needed every week.
what have you been up to? Remember, like, that doctor was like, y'all need to have more meetings than just the amount of time that you meet. Didn't he say that?
Yeah.
So we need to work on that, because apparently we can't get going until we debrief.
For 3 hours.
Right. What's been going on?
Oh
with
my
you?
gosh. You have been
Maybe me
in
first.
these streets.
You need to.
You have been in these streets for sure.
Girl, it's been a lot. So I was in Florida for a wedding, which was awesome.
Yep.
Then the next week I was at the NSTA conference, which was, I have a lot to share about that.
What does NSTA stand for?
National Science Teacher Association
All right.
conference in Atlanta. So it was local.
ATL.
But it was definitely a lot. And then followed by the Holy Spirit Encounter Weekend, which I serve at about 3 times a year. And that all ran together. So then I'm just trying to get my life together now. March Madness has been going on in the midst of all this.
I have only been watching the Auburn games, but you just burst my bubble and let me know that Auburn lost. I don't really know when that happened, but I did go to sleep. I did
Probably. It was a lot of good games at one time when they were playing. So we were flipping. You know, my house is all up in it.
Y'all are.
So there
There
was
was a time we were like that, but now sleep coming
sleep
before
trumps
basketball.
everything. So the big upset was the Retrievers of USMB. NBC, I think it is. Maryland, Baltimore. Anyways, they beat some number 1 seed. God, who was that?
It was 2 number 1 seeds or something that got knocked out by a number 14.
Well, yeah, 16 has never knocked out a 1.
16, there you go.
And so those Retrievers went ahead and knocked them right out. And then Buffalo beat Arizona, which killed my entire left side of my bracket. Like, I had Arizona and Villanova in the finals. So
Clearly.
there's that. So go Villanova, whatever that means. So that's it. March Madness. My son has transitioned from middle school basketball to other sorts of basketball teams and whatnots, in which he is balling, apparently. I've been going for the last 2 weekends.
Yeah.
So then he's like, I would like to invite you to my basketball game on Saturday.
Oh.
I'm about to show you my Euro.
What?
It's some
A
kind
gyro? He about to eat a little wrap?
It's some kind of move, layup move, where he shows it to me all the time around the house. So he wants me to see it on the court.
In action. I like it. He wants you to see it live. All the way live.
Yeah. Apparently he was like balling, and my husband texted me and everything. It was like, your boy's doing it on this court. So I'm like, great.
I can't wait. Please video it.
Because
So
I
you can
can't
send
wait
it
to
me.
see.
All this time, and I know everybody understands this, but if you are a mother of children who are of the age of being able to participate in extracurricular activities, you understand our sorrows. I am a dance mom by accident, and you are a baller's mom, and ball is life. Like, that's what you've been saying for the last 8 months.
Yeah.
Ball is life, ball is life, ball is life.
Yeah.
And it's sad when you feel so much for your friends that, like, I was over here ready for basketball season to end, and I wasn't even going to practices with y'all.
Absolutely. I feel like that about, and baseball, ball is life is something like, it's
That's
always
on another
going.
level. Double headers.
year-long all-star team, like all this stuff. And, you know, thank God we decided to not do AAU with him, but put him in these other leagues. So
okay, so it's not AAU for him.
Is right all now. Weekend travel, all that stuff. I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see it.
Well, I have some serious anxiety about overload with extracurricular activities because, of course, I still consider myself a new mom. Yes, my babies are 5 and 8. But
you're stepping into that.
We're just getting into that, and I'm just super concerned because I see a lot of teachers that I'm around. I see a lot of friends who are super burned out, and that is the only thing they can do it themselves.
Right.
And I don't think it's right. I don't know. Something about me rebels against it.
Yeah. But I also, like, being a child of volleyball is life. Like, I remember my parents, I was the third child, though, so I don't know what my sisters were doing. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't so young, but I know in high school when I was playing club volleyball, my parents were in Vegas with us. My parents were in Texas with us. Like, our whole family was traveling like that.
Well, I wasn't a part of a league that traveled like that, but my rec games and my high school games were absolutely a big deal for my family. Like, my uncles would be there. My, if my aunt came in from D.C., she made it a point to try to make it to one of my games. So it was, and my parents were at every game except like one in my whole life.
Yeah,
so
and I think that World Famous's parents were the same. So we just know that that's what, like, we've been saving for our extracurricular sports for our children since they were born, because we already knew that financially that's what was going to happen if they ever played sports. But the time is what we didn't think about it, I guess. And then you pause your own life.
And see, I don't know. It has to be a way to balance it, because I feel like, from my perspective, I have to stop and ask myself, all of this time investment and all this monetary investment is to what end?
Yeah.
I see my baby definitely having some type of future, my oldest child, in some type of theater performance. Like, she is already really good at even writing things, and like, I see that in her, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that, and I want to cultivate that in her. Yeah. However, I want to expose my kids to several different types of sports. Yeah. So if I go all in hard on one, on one, I don't see that I'm giving them the exposure that they need to make the choice of what their heart is leading them to. Right. So making that monetary commitment so early at age 8 and 5, I don't see why we should do that.
Right. But I also have I have one friend, Brianna, who has supported her boys in everything, and I love the fact they're not athletes. I didn't know them when they were younger, but one is a jazz musician who has an album. Like, he's in college now, so she was all in for this boy. I mean, like, taking him to New Orleans, like, jazz pubs at night or whatever. Like, if he was in it, she was in it for him, and she made, like, lots of, concessions for him, took him to Europe, and he was able to do, like, all these things, supporting their passions. And
I'm into that. Yeah.
Her younger son is into culinary arts, and he's like, he's making macarons every day, and she's taking him to these different classes and taking him to France, and like, all these things and I love that. I feel like whatever they're doing, so even if it wasn't basketball or volleyball, if they are interested in something, like if Professor decided he wanted to do band full time or whatever, it would still be the same.
No, I agree thing, because again, Ann and Charles went to every band competition for me. I was a part of band. I still feel like now is a little more extreme than even what I was doing when I was 9 years old.
They start so young.
Yeah, and I don't know that I want to commit my kids to something like that, time-wise or monetary-wise, at such a young age when they don't even know what they're passionate about. Now, if and when Ainsley decides that she wants to really go full, because, girl, we watch MasterChef Kids all the time, MasterChef Junior, and she's like, Mommy, No, I told her, I said, she was like, I want to be on that show. I said, well, we need to get the cooking, honey, because I'm cool with you cooking for me every night. Because these kids on there talking about they cook 4 out of 7 days out the week. I'm like, take that burden from me.
Yeah, Missy's all into that too.
Oh, yeah,
and that's the thing. So I'm wondering if it's just like, because I know a lot of little kids, especially little girls, that are like, I don't want to be on this chef show or whatever.
Yeah.
And if she wants to do it, great.
And guess what? I'm cool with putting her in a little cooking class over the summer.
Yeah.
But am I about to invest thousands of dollars? Now, I might sound like a hypocrite a little bit because, we were a part of dance. But I had several reasons why originally I put her into this dance group. Number one, I knew that she was getting to the age of needing to learn some discipline. And I know that this dance group is known for their seriousness and pushing of children.
That boom cat. Sorry.
Girl.
Do you remember her?
No.
Lori Ann. For P. Diddy show, she would be
yeah.
boom cat. Like she was so serious. Anyway.
I do remember that. I'm glad. Yeah, I forgot. I was like, what, girl?
That serious boom cat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what she was on. And, I wanted my child to be exposed to African American dancers because all of the dance companies around here and even their little camp, my babies brought to my attention that at gymnastics camp and the dance camp, they were the only brown girls and their sisters. So,
right. Each other.
Yeah. So at least they have each other. But I wanted to expose my babies, to, it was in the Misty Copeland that, I wanted them to really definitely embody that and realize that there are, African American dancers and this is cool.
Right.
So we started this dance group and my child didn't feel very confident about the way that she was being treated. She cried a lot of days, but in my mind, you got to toughen up. And sometimes you're going to be dealing with people that aren't just smiling at you all the time.
Right.
And you got to figure out how to navigate through that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a great lesson to learn. The teacher we had decided we weren't going to do it once we made it through. We were going to let her decide, take a break. Teacher called back and said they really wanted her to come back. So she was very flattered by that and she wanted to do it. We get back and it's a little bit of this whole unprofessionalism where I am. Dance is not cheap. We're investing, probably over 8 months, $1,500 to $2,000, possibly. It might be more than that.
Did we say it on air about the other volleyball mom who was trying to transition from cheerleading and she was like,
yes,
we $3,500 in. She's like, I can't stop now. I got to go to the end because she had already spent so much money on cheer and dance.
Well, what the audience doesn't know is I was getting harassing texts throughout our last podcast and it was this instructor donning me for money and we pay every month.
Girl. And so I wonder, okay, this is just me.
Talk about it.
I wonder if the invitation back was just for money purposes.
Yes. So one of my former mentors warned me about that.
That's right. We talked about that too.
Yeah. Remember, it was my baby was 4. She made it on the gymnastics team. Yep. I didn't see what she had done so special. I saw kids getting kicked off that look about the same, as skills-wise as she did. And my mentor warned me. He was like, be careful of people who feel like you have the money to pay because that's one of the reasons they'll keep you because they feel like you have the money to pay. And, I kind of thought of that at first. And I was like, well, I kind of enjoyed their only performance of the year. So you're going through all these months of training and you only have one performance. Most dance companies have at least one at Christmas and then one in the spring. Not the case. So the most rewarding thing that I've done in the last 2 weeks is quit dance. And I know your girl was talking about $3,500 in and too far in. But you know what? I looked at that and I was like, this is about to be about $500 we saved from not continuing on.